welcome to the second lecture on concrete technology. This is Mr. K. Venkatesh, Assistant Professor, Civil Engineering, here in the University. In the last lecture, I have seen mainly about the history of the modern cement and then manufacturing of the Portland cement and chemical composition. Also, I have seen the hydration of cement and then the water requirements for hydration. All these topics I have covered in Unit 1, that is cement. So I hope that you are well aware of all these topics. So let me briefly introduce you again all these topics. So in the early history of modern cement, I have information that I have given to introduce the cement and what is the cement contains, what do you mean by aggregates, what do you mean by concrete, and also what do you mean by cement paste. All these we discussed here. So after that, we have gone through the admixtures, the type of admixtures. So what are the functions of the admixtures in the concrete that we have seen. And the next we have seen about the manufacturing of the Portland cement, where there are the two processes we have discussed, dry process and then wet process. How these processes are used in order to produce the cement in the industry we have seen here. In the next, I have seen the chemical composition of the cement. So where we have categorized the elements, the minerals that are present inside the cement, which are siliceous materials and then aggregates materials, where silicon dioxide, aluminum trioxide, magnesium oxide, ferrous trioxide. So like that, what is the composition of all the individual elements in the cement I have seen. And also, we have mentioned about the box compounds, where tricalcium silicates, about dicalcium silicates, also tetracalcium alumino ferrites and tricalcium aluminates. About all these box compounds we have discussed and their percentage in the cement also I have discussed. So after that, I have gone through the hydration of the cement, where we have discussed the hydration process, and when water is added to the cement, what are the chemical reactions that has taken place we have discussed here. And I have also discussed how this hydration process is giving a strength to the cement, also we have discussed. And we have discussed about the water requirements hydration, how much water is needed in order to complete the hydration process such that we will get adequate strength. That is also discussed in this year. So all these points will cover in Unit 1, that is cement. Video lecture 1, all these topics are covered. Now in video lecture 2, right now we will be discussing about the types of cement and then testing on cement. So with this second lecture, we are going to complete Unit 1, that is about cement. So let me start with the types of cement in the next slide. So this slide is clearly showing about the types of cement. The first one in the types of cement is ordinary Portland cement. This is also called OPC, the ordinary Portland cement. So this is the basic one now industries are using. This is you may have seen everywhere the cement bags, where most probably in the top of the bag it is mentioned whether it is a OPC or EPC. There are different kinds of cements are there. they will mention the name of the cement and the process there. So you might have seen this ordinary Portland cement. So this ordinary Portland cement that whatever we are using in industries, in construction of anything, where this OPC is broadly classified into three types, namely 33 grade, 43 grade, and 53. So this grading is mainly based on the IS code, that is IS 4031 1988. If you type this code in a Google, IS 4031 1988, you will get a PDF where it is about the classification of the ordinary potency. All these grades are mentioned in that code. So what this grade is saying that if a cement is of 33 grade, the meaning is it is having a strength of 33 Newton per mm square. That is 33 megapascal strength it is having after the 28 days of cure. So if it is a 43 grade, the meaning is it is of strength 43 megapascal. And if it is 53, it is 53 MPa cement. So like that, the classification has been done on the cement. So this is about ordinary Portland cement. But this manufacturing of this OPC is decreasing all over the world in view of popularity of the blended cement, on the account of lower energy consumption and environmental pollution and economic other technical reasons. Next, the second type of cement is rapid hardening cement. It is given in a code IS 8041 1990. So it may be a bit confused for you. So each and every type of cement is given in different codes. So you don't need to bother about all these codes. You just learn about what is this code associated with the cement and what this cement property. You learn this. What is the cement property? That is enough. You have to remember the codes. Coming to the rapid hardening cement. So the name of the cement itself is saying that rapidly get hardened. Means that it attains the strength very fast. So when I said the statement, it attains the strength very fastly, rapid hardening, very rapidly it is attaining the strength, means I hope that you could able to remember the box compounds where C3S, that is tricalcium silicates, is the one in a cement that is causing early strength of concrete. So this C3S content is higher in a cement when it causes the rapid hardening of the cement. So also I can say the cement fineness. If the cement is too fine, too smaller particles it is having, its exposure condition to the water action will be very high. Whenever the water reaction to the cement is doing very faster, so the rate of hydration is very more, hence the strength of cement will be very high. So there are two reasons are there to make the cement very hard in a very shortest span of time is higher the C3S content and then finer the cement particles. So what is the use of this particular rapid hardening cement? This cement is getting strength very fast such that this type of cement can be used in cold weather conditions. Where in cold weather conditions, and what happens to the concrete is, so it is very vulnerable to the concrete to the frost damage. So that in those type of cold weather conditions, it is required strength of concrete, sorry, strength of cement should be very fast. So in these cold weather conditions, the cement has to get the strength very faster. Hence, we'll use the rapid hardening cement in the cold weather conditions. So this is about rapid hardening cement. Now, in the next slide, we will see the sulfate resistant cement. This is one of the other types of cement where it is almost similar to the ordinary Portland cement, but it is giving more resistance to the sulfate action. So this code is IS 12000 1988. So this is a code that deals with the sulfate resistant cement, where whenever this ordinary Portland cement is susceptible to attack of the sulfates. Sulfates can be SO4, let's say an example. So when this ordinary Portland cement is susceptible to the attack of these sulfates, so in particularly to the action of magnesium sulfate, where any sulfate is acting on an OPC that causes very damage to the cement. So this sulfate is mainly in the action of the magnesium sulfates. Whenever these sulfates reacts with calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH twice, so it forms calcium sulfate. And also, whenever this sulfate reacts with calcium aluminate, it forms calcium sulfoaluminate. So this itself occupies the volume, which is approximately 22.7% of the volume of the original aluminate. So whenever these sulfates are attacking the ordinary Portland cement, hence this type of cement is no more usable. Hence, to make this type of cement usable, you need to make the sulfate resistant cements. Hence, the only remedy that you need to follow is use the cement with low amount of C3A compound. The meaning is, if the Box compound where the tricalcium aluminate content is less in a cement, it is found to be very effective in sulfate attack. And you can also provide the C4AF where tetracalcium aluminum ferrite content should be also less, such that you can provide sulfate resistant cement. So this is about sulfate resistant cement. The next slide we will see the Portland pozzolana cement. The code associated with Portland pozzolana cement is IS 1489 1991. So the manufacturing of this Portland pozzolana cement is simply by intergrinding of OPC clinker with 10 to 25% of pozzolanic material. So what do you mean by pozzolanic material? This pozzolanic material can be a siliceous material or aluminous material. We have seen in video lecture 1 about this siliceous and aluminous materials in the manufacturing of cement. So these pozzolanic materials can be a siliceous or aluminous material which itself possessing no cementinous materials. Hence, this OPC clinker and then this pozzolanic material will be blended together and then forms the Portland pozzolana cement. These pozzolanic materials can be a calcined clay or a fly ash. So these two materials, any of these two materials, the calcined clay or else the fly ash, can be mixed with the OPC clinker and then it can form a Portland pozzolana cement. So here this fly ash, which is a pozzolanic material, is a waste material that is generated in the thermal power stations, where the powdered coal is used as a. So with these materials and intermixing with the OPC, you can form Portland pozzolana cement. Now, the fifth type of cement is the hydrophobic cement. The code associated with the hydrophobic cement is IS 8043 1991. This could be the code, and the 1991 is the publication time. The hydrophobic cement, the name itself is saying that this is something to deal with the water. Suppose if you want to construct any bridge on a water, so there is a water here. Now I just wanted to construct a bridge here. These are the piers. Now it is a deck that is going on the piers. So now this is filled with the water. Now vehicle will be go here, right? So in order to make this particular piles or the towers here, so you need to place the concrete inside the water. So whatever the concrete that we are placing here, it should be made with hydrophobic cement. Then only it can be resistance against the water. But how could you produce this hydrophobic cement? It is simply by the grinding of ordinary Portland cement with water repellents, film forming substances such as oleic acid and stearic acid. So when you grind this ordinary Portland cement clinker with this water repellent forming substances such as oleic acid and stearic acid, it forms a hydrophobic cement. So the properties of this hydrophobic cement is nearly same as that of ordinary Portland cement, except that it entrains a small quantity of the air bubbles. So the property of both hydrophobic cement and then ordinary Portland cement is almost same, but the hydrophobic cement entrains a small quantity of air bubbles. So this is about hydrophobic cement. So with that hydrophobic cement, we have completed the types of cement. If I can recall all the types of cements, the first one is ordinary Portland cement, the second one is rapid hardening cement, and third one is sulfate resisting cement, and the fourth one is Portland pozzolana cement, and the fifth one is hydrophobic cement. So these are the types of cements. So and the associated codes also have. The next we'll move to the testing on the cement. What are the tests that you need to perform on a cement to make sure that the particular cement is workable to use in the construction site or not? So the testing of a cement can be brought under two categories. So that is the field testing, and second one is laboratory testing. So before using the cement in a construction, you need to be aware of the field and also the laboratory results. Then only you need to proceed with the considered cement. So what are the field tests that we need to perform while using the cement at the construction sites? The tests are the color test, presence of lumps, and the alteration test, temperature test, float test, setting test, and date of packing. So there are so many number of tests you need to perform in the site to make sure that the cement is workable. Now we will see each of these tests here. Now the color test of a cement. The first thing we need to do in the field is the color test. That is, the color of cement should be uniform. Uniform in the sense, generally the color of cement is a gray color. So the sack of a bag, if you take a bag of a cement, where the entire cement should be of uniform color. That is, entire cement should be of gray color with a greenish shade. So this is a minimum requirement. If you see a cement bag, it should be with a gray color with light greenish shade, and this color should be uniform throughout the bag. That is the first test we do. And the next test is the presence of lumps. Now, if you hold this bag and place your hand inside the bag, now you should not able to find any lumps. Lumps in the sense, big solids of this size. Generally, the cement should be of very fine particles. So if you hold the cement, it should be very smooth. You should not find any stone type of structure as for lumps. So that is what is the presence of lumps test. So if you are finding a very large number of lumps, then you should reject this. This cement is not usable. The next test is cement adulteration test. So in this test, the cement should feel very smooth when it's touched and rubbed between the fingers. So if it is felt rough, it indicates that the adulteration with the cement. Right? So the adulteration test is nothing but you just touch the cement. You need to feel it is just very smooth. And if you felt it is rough, it indicates that the adulteration has happened with the cement. Right? The next tests are the temperature test, where you place your hand inside the bag of cement and check whether you are feeling cool or warm. If you are feeling very cool inside, then the cement is good. If you are feeling warm, the cement is not good. That is temperature test. The next test is the float test, where a small quantity of a cement you need to throw in a bucket of water and check whether that particular cement is floating in the water or it sinks. You simply check whether it is floating or it sinks. So what you need to see here is, if the cement that thrown in the bucket of water, it is sinking immediately, then that is wrong. The particle should float for some time before it sinks. Then only you get very good cement. It should not sink immediately. That is what is float test. The next test you need to perform is setting test. In setting test, you need to prepare a paste of cement with the water and then place this paste of a cement on a piece of a glass plate. So after placing on the piece of a glass plate, place this in water for 24 hours. Then after 24 hours, If you are able to see that crack happens in a cement which is set, then that is not a good cement. So there should not be any crack after 24 hours. The cement should only set. That is about setting test of a cement. So take a cement, add some water to it, and then place the cement paste on piece of a glass plate, and then place this glass plate under the water for 24 hours. Then check it. If the cement is set without any cracks, then that is a good cement. Otherwise, the cement should be rejected. The last test you need to perform here is date of packing. So I hope that you are well aware of this. So you, before purchasing any item, you generally need to see the packing date and expiry date. So without that, we never buy any product. So that also you need to see while you are using the cement. The strength of a cement reduces with time. This is a normal condition. So the strength of a cement reduces with time. That's why you need to check the date of manufacturing of the cement. So generally the cement should be used before 90 days from the date of manufacture. So you might have seen in the products, suppose a biscuit packet is there, in that it is mentioned best before 30 days from the manufacturing, for example. The meaning is that, so once it is manufactured, from that it is 30 days after, you should not use that. Like that, cement also should be used before 30 days from the date of manufacture. So with this, the preliminary testing of a cement in the field is completed. Next, we will see the laboratory testing. So where there are so many tests we are performing in a laboratory, then we will use this cement in construction sites. The first test we need to perform on the cement is the fineness of a cement. We need to check how much fine the particular cement you need to calculate. The fineness of a cement is tested in two ways. The first one is by CD. The second one is by the determination of specific surface area. So first we will see how to find the fineness of a cement by CD. Here you take 100 grams of cement and place this 100 grams of a cement on a standard ISC. ISC, you might have seen the seeds outside. So where the 90 micron size seed you need to choose, on that you place this 100 grams of cement and then shake it for some time, which is about 15 minutes of period you just shake it. So weigh the residue which is left on the seed. That weight percentage shall not exceed 10% of the ordinary seed. So take the weight residue on this ISC number 9, that is 90 micron seed, and this residue should not exceed 10% of the ordinary seed. Next test is by the determination of specific surface area. So with this test also you can find the fineness of the cement, where the specific surface area means the total surface area of all the particles in 1 gram of cement. So this determination of a fineness of a cement using this determination of a specific surface area is done by an apparatus called air permeability apparatus. With this apparatus, generally we find the fineness of a cement. That fineness of a cement is expressed in terms of centimeter square per gram or meter square per kg. Means the total surface area of all the particles in 1 gram of cement will mention, that is what is specific surface area. This is measured by air permeability test, which is used for finding the fineness of cement. So the most adapted method is by CV. Remember this fineness of cement by CV, which is take 90 micron C and place 100 grams of cement on that and shake it for 15 minutes period of time and find the total weight of a residue left on the C. This weight divided by original weight that you consider, which is 100 grams, gives the percentage value. That percentage value should not exceed 10%. If it is exceeding 10%, it means that the cement is not properly fined. Okay, so this is the fineness of the cement. The next one is standard consistency test. Now the second test we need to perform in a laboratory is the standard consistency test. So the standard consistency test is nothing but how much amount of water you need to add such that the cement, that whatever you are going to use in a concrete, is workable. The water content you need to calculate so that the cement is workable. For finding out, see here, maybe the sentence whatever I have said, it seems to be very simple. Simply calculating the water required for the particular cement to make it workable. But in practical, you need to calculate through some experiment the water requirement for the cement. That's why the equipment we used is called Vicat apparatus. So this is the schematic diagram of the Vicat apparatus. So where this is the source point, the standard consistency test is a source point for all the remaining tests, which can be finding the initial setting time, finding the final test setting time, or finding the soundness of a cement, or the strength parameters. For all these things, the standard consistency test is a basic parameter. So without this, none of these tests can perform. So the standard consistency of a cement is defined as the consistency at which this Vicat plunger, which is of 10 mm size, 50 mm length, can penetrate a depth of 33 to 35 mm from the top of the mount, or 5 to 7 mm from the bottom of the mount. So I will explain you very clearly in the next slide. Before that, see the schematic diagram of the Vicat apparatus, where, so this is the side view, this is the side view of the Vicat apparatus, where the top portion is called cap, and this is the movable rod, which is of weight 300 grams, And now this entire thing is called a frame of the cat apparatus, which holds all the needles and the plunger rod. This is a plunger rod here. This is a plunger rod. So some marks are indicated here, so which you can able to see in the front view, where these marks are mentioned, which is used to measure the readings, indicators, and this is to hold the needle, and this is a needle here. The C point is representing a needle. This is the size of the needle, which is a 1 mm square needle dia, and this bottom one is a mold, which is of 40 mm height and 80 mm diameter. So now if you are able to see this plunger, which is I marked here, this plunger, if you able to see here, this is a plunger for measuring the standard consistency. This is of 10 mm diameter and then 50 mm length. This plunger rod will start moving from this frame such that the needle will contact with the mold, which contains the cement paste inside, and by the self weight of this rod, this plunger push the needle inside the cement paste like this. Whenever it goes into the cement paste, it will penetrate, and they will measure the penetration length from the reading mentioned here. So if that depth of penetration from the top of the mold, from here, suppose this is the top of the mold, from here the depth of penetration is 33 to 35 mm. Since the mold size is, the height of the mold is 40 mm, if the needle penetrates up to the depth of 33 to 35 mm, then the water added to the cement is the sufficient water. That is called the standard consistency of water. Or you can also measure the height from the bottom of the mold also. Then it should be 5 to 7 mm, which is from the bottom of the mold. So any of the readings you can take, whether it can be a top or it can be a bottom. So this picture I will show you very clearly in the next slide. See here once. Now this is actually a wicket apparatus. You can able to see here very clearly, which I already explained. This is a movable rod, which is of 300 gram size, and this one is a frame, and then this is a mold, which is of 40 mm height and then 80 mm diameter, and this one is a needle, which is of 1 mm square, and then if you can able to see the detailed dimensions of the needle is mentioned here, which is of 1 mm diameter at the topmost point, and if you go inside, as the depth increases, it is of 3.3 mm diameter. It goes to the air vent, which is of 5 mm diameter, and this air vent is of height 6.4 mm and thickness of 0.5 mm. Through this air vent, your needle will go inside, and hence this needle will penetrate into the mold. So hence we will measure the depth of penetration from the top of the mold. And this plunger dimensions are already explained. So which is of 10 mm dia and 50 mm length. Now this is a front view of that one, where the indications are shown here. Through this you can able to measure the penetration distances. So with this, the Vicat apparatus detailed dimensions is here. Now how to do the test? It is okay that you can able to measure the depth of penetration from the bottom of the or else from the top of the mold, and that should be between 33 to 35. But how to do this test? I'll explain in the next slide. So here, let us take a 50 or 500 grams of cement. Let us take a 500 grams of cement and prepare a paste. Means add some amount of water to this. Let us say in the starting, let us add a 24 percentage by the weight of cement you add to the cement. So we took the 500 grams of cement. In that 500 grams, you take 24 percentage of that one. So that much amount of water you need to add to the 500 grams of cement. So prepare a paste. Once the paste is prepared, then we're ready for the first try. That is, you place this particular paste within 3 to 5 minutes in the malt which is placed under the Vicat apparatus. So that is called Vicat mold. In that Vicat mold, within 3 to 5 minutes, you need to place entire this paste inside the mold. Once it is placed, and place the mold in the Vicat apparatus bottom side, and then the next thing is, what are the standard plunger that we said, which is already 10 diameter and 50 length, is attached and brought down to touch the surface of the paste, right? So and we just release the plunger once it is touched with the mold. So when it is released by the weight of the plunger itself, which is of 300 grams, which we have already mentioned, it will penetrate, it will push the needle inside the mold which contains the cement paste. Now take the reading by noting the depth of penetration of the plunger. So this indication is also I have seen in the front view of the Vicat apparatus, where the detailed indentations are mentioned. From that you can take the depth of penetration of the plunger inside the mold and check is the depth is between 33 to 35 from the top of the mold. If it is not, we need to go for the second try, where now increase the water content, which we have already added 24 percentage. Now we are going to increase one more percentage of water, that is, now add 25 percentage of water. Initially we added 24 percentage, now increase 1 percentage of the water again, and again prepare the paste and do the same procedure, where within 3 to 5 minutes you place in the mold and then place the mold below the Vicat apparatus and then release the plunger. Once it is touched with the mold, release the plunger to penetrate and again check the reading from the front view of the indentation. From there again measure the depth of penetration of the plunger. If the depth of penetration is 33 to 35 from the top of the mold, then stop the experiment and the water content which is added to get the 33 to 35 percentage, 33 to 35 of the depth of penetration is the percentage of the water that is required to produce the cement paste of standard consistency. If you are not getting in the trial 2, you need to go with the trial 3, again increasing one more percentage of the water, let us say 26 percentage. If again you are not getting, go with fourth stage, where 27 percentage. Like that, increase the percentage of the water and add to the cement paste, add to the cement and make it as a paste, and again do the same procedure which we had already explained and find the depth of penetration. So whenever you find the depth of penetration is 33 to 35 mm from the top of the mold. Stop the process and note down the amount of water that we added before. That percentage of the water is the one which is required to produce the cement paste of the standard consistency. This is the basic test you need to perform on this. The next slide we will see the setting test for the cement, where we will explain how much time particular cement, that cement can be an OPC or PPC or rapid hardening cement or hydrophobic cement. We have discussed the types of cement. Let us take any type of cement. How much time that particular cement will take to set, that we will measure in the laboratory. So through initial testing time and then final testing time. So in initial setting time, what we do is we take again 500 grams of cement and add 0.85 percentage of the 0.85 times the standard consistency. That means that in first we already calculated the standard consistency value, means the amount of water that is required we already calculated. So with that water you multiply with 0.85 times, we will get now the required water that to be added to the 500 grams of cement for calculating the initial setting time. So the amount of water required to produce the cement paste of standard consistency is 0.85 times the P. P is here is a standard consistency. Now once this amount of water is added to the cement, this is of 500 grams weight. Now place this cement paste immediately in the mold, the cap mold, in 3 to 5 minutes. Once you place this, now lower the needle. Here the needle type will differ between initial setting time and final setting time. The type of needle we use for initial setting time is different, and then for final setting time it is different. Their size and then length varies. So here initial setting time, this needle is gently lower them first and bring in a contact with the surface of the text block. The text block is nothing but the mold here, and then quickly release the needle. Now note the reading between the time when you added the water to the cement and the time at which the needle that penetrates in the test block to a depth equal to 33 to 35 mm from the top of the mold. So that time is nothing but the initial setting time of the technique. So this much amount of time a particular cement will take to set initial. Normally for ordinary Portland cements, or OPC, I can say ordinary Portland cement, so the initial setting time of cement should not be less than 30 minutes. So it can be more than 30 minutes, but it should not be less than 30 minutes. This time is nothing but the time between the water added to the cement, where this 0.85 times the normal consistency is added to this 500 grams of cement. From this onwards you will start stopwatch, so that you will start here and then we will end the stopwatch at the condition where you got the depth of penetration is 33 to 35 mm from the top of the mold. Till then we will never stop the stopwatch. Once you reach this value, then we will stop it and we will measure how much time it took to reach this point. That time we will note it as a initial setting time, which should not be less than 30 minutes. So this is about initial setting time. Now we will see the final setting time. In final setting time, what we do is the procedure is same as like initial setting time, only the needle we are using is different. We will change the needle here for the initial setting time, and then the remaining procedure will be same. Now here what you need to check is the setting time of the cement should not be more than 10 hours, means 600 minutes. So your setting time of the cement should not be more than 600 minutes. That is, you took 500 grams of cement and you added 0.85 times the standard consistency of the cement. There your stopwatch will start and your stopwatch will end where this needle just make an impression on the test block. It should not penetrate inside the test block. Till then your test will run, and once you reach this point where the needle cannot able to penetrate inside, means the cement is achieved its final point, final setting point. That time should not be less than 600 minutes, which is 10 hours. So this is what is final setting time of the cement. The main difference is the needle and the depth of penetration. And the next test is strength and test of the cement, where we'll measure the strength of a cement through some experimental investigations. So to find the strength of a cement, we take 555 grams of standard sand. The standard sand we will follow in India is NO sand in Tamil Nadu. So this is zone 2 sand, which is considered for the construction purposes. So let us take 555 grams of standard sand and 185 grams of cement, so that this cement sand ratio is going to be 1:3. That is 185 by 555 divided by 555 gives the 1:3 ratio. That is a cement sand ratio, which is called a motor. It is called motor 1:3 ratio. So take this sand and place in a non-porous enamel tray and mix them with a trowel for about 1 minute. And mix thoroughly and add P/4 plus 3% of combined weight of cement and sand. So add this much amount of water. So I will explain what is this now. So P is already discussed, that is the standard consistency of a cement. Let us take the standard consistency of a cement. For example, let us take 30%. So P/4, that means 30/4, approximately we are getting 7.5 or 7.3 something around, plus 3. So we are getting around 7.5. So the 7.5 percentage of combined weight of cement and sand means 555 grams of standard cement we took and 185 grams of cement we took. So sum them together now. So this is 555 plus 185. So approximately we are getting, that is 740 grams of cement and sand. That is a total mix. So here we got P/4 plus 3 is approximately some 7.5%. So the 7.5 divided by 100 into this 555 plus 185. So how much amount of value you are getting, that much weight of water you need to consider and mix with sand and cement about 3 minutes. So you need to mix this about 3 minutes such that roughly the time is 3 minutes, but you need to mix until the mixture should be of uniform color. Till then, you need to mix the all three ingredients together. So the mixing should not be less than 3 minutes and should not be more than 4 minutes. This is a normal condition we just consider between 3 to 4 minutes, that mixing ratio. So after immediately mixing this mortar, which is of cement, sand and water, that combination is called a mortar. So this mortar is filled in a cube molds. These molds are of standard size, that is 7.06 centimeter or 70.6 mm. So this much molds are available, this much size of molds are available in the lab. So in that molds, you fill this mortar and keep the compacted cube mold at a temperature of 27 plus or minus 2 degrees, that is at room temperature you need to place. At least make 90% relative humidity for 24 hours. So means that you place these 70.6 mm cubes after filling the mortar at a room temperature of 27 degrees plus or minus 2 about 24 hours. After that, after 24 hours, the cubes molds are removed and the formed cement specimen now immersed in clean fresh water until taken out for the test. So you need to place them in a water for curing purposes, and suppose if you want to test at a period of 1 day, so place these cubes in a water for 1 day and take them out and test it under CTM, that is compressive testing machine, to find the compressive strength of a cement. Suppose if you want to find the strength of a cement after 3 days, so place the cubes for 3 days in a water and take it out and dry them. After, test them under CTM to find the compressive strength. Likewise for 7 days and also for 28 days. 28 days means the curing time should be 28 days. So this gives the compressive strength. So take the average strength of all the 3 cubes. One is at 1 days and 3 days and 7 days. So you will find the compressive strength correspondingly each day. So it could be 7 days testing or it could be 28 days testing. So this gives the compressive strength of a cement. With this, the testing of the cement in both laboratories and field is completed. So by the end of this lecture, we had completed about the types of cement and the test that we are performing on the cement is completed. So with this, unit 1 cement is completed. So from the next lecture onwards, we will go for unit 2, which is about aggregates. Thank you. We'll meet you again in the next class.